We got ourselves a stormy Friday and a stormy weekend ahead. It could be pretty nasty, especially in parts of the mountains where we could be looking at some significant flash flooding, and that is as usual, in particular right around those burn scars. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi here as we take a look at that prolonged, kind of that detailed forecast, but also we'll look out ahead into next week and even next weekend, which looks considerably drier. But in the near term, we are looking at the flash flood watch that is in place throughout much of Colorado. In fact, I would say most of it at this point. It does include the Denver metro area. We could be talking about 1 to 2 inches of rain per hour, and of course, avoid the burn scars. Another thing to keep in mind, though, is once again here, folks, I mean, we have just had this summer of smog. It continues with what is now our 4th consecutive week with these air quality alerts. We do have one in place. We are looking at that unhealthy air quality for those sensitive breathing groups. If you've got asthma, again, this is certainly one of those days you want to limit that time that you are outdoors. But you're really not going to want to spend a whole lot of time outdoors, especially later on through your Friday and through your Saturday, thanks to this, a flash flood watch that, as I mentioned, it covers most of Colorado at this point. This is pretty unusual to see just the amount of geography that is covered at this point. I would go to venture this is 50, maybe even 55% of the state that is covered by this flash flood watch. This runs through Saturday evening, and this does include Denver and basically the entire metro area. One thing to keep in mind with Denver's is that flash flood watch starts at 6 p.m. tonight and runs through 9 p.m. tomorrow. So for Denver, it starts this evening, and those storms for us will be a little later this evening. So you might notice maybe 3, 4, 5 o'clock. It's still going to be dry in Denver. Then as we get into the evening time frame, so 6, 7, 8 o'clock, maybe before, after dinner, something like that, that's when you're going to start to notice those storms moving their way on through. In the near term, we're actually fairly calm for now, but you might notice some of these clouds up here into far northern Colorado. That is an association with our next cold front. Once that front moves its way on through, that is going to drop our temperatures like a bowling ball off a table, and it's also going to bring us some low-level moisture and really increase those chances for a shower or a thunderstorm. Actually starting to see those first storms just starting to flare on up there into western Boulder County, western Larimer County, right over those burn scars. That would be the Calwood, as well as the East Troublesome and the Cameron Peak burn scars. There are starting to see those first showers and storms already develop here, and we're just after noon. Now, in terms of those showers and thunderstorms, again, we'll see those concentrated here in through those burn scars. It is looking very, very unpleasant for those burn scars, but notice the timing here by about kind of 4 or 5 o'clock or so. We're still probably dry in Denver. In fact, the mountain coverage isn't all that great by 4, 5, 6 o'clock, but that coverage does increase as we head through the evening. It is going to be just a super soaker in the mountains. If you got plans to travel on I-70, I know we're still closed. I know we've got people trapped still in the Glenwood Canyon area, right to the east of Glenwood Springs, right in here. That is due to the Grizzly Creek burn scar and the mudslides associated with that have moved their way onto I-70. If you're planning on traveling really through I-70, west of Denver, it is going to be nasty tonight. I'll just tell you what I've been telling my own friends. I've gotten quite a few people. In fact, in the newsroom here at 9 News, been asking me about possible mountain plans this weekend. Forget about it here, folks. That's the only way I can put it. I mean, it's just going to be pouring rain. This is not hit or miss, typical afternoon showers and storms. This is monsoonal moisture plus a cold front plus slow-moving storms. This is just one of those weekends. It's a Netflix and 9 News kind of weekend here, folks. It's just not a great kind of weekend for us. You got the Olympics, watch the Olympics, stay at home, or some takeout. This is one of those weekends you really don't want to spend a whole lot of time outdoors here, folks. I do think they'll get the Rockies game in tomorrow night. I've gotten a few of those questions. I think tonight forget about it, but tomorrow night you should be all right for that game there at Coors Field. Meantime, current temperatures, a lot of 80s, even some 90s for us in the eastern plains. So Denver, we're heading up to another 90-degree day. This will be our last one for a little while, though. We're heading up to 95. This would mark our 6th consecutive day at 90 degrees or above, but this will be the last one we get for a little while here. So it's going to be on the cooler side as we get into the weekend. That's the good news, but tonight we drop those temperatures back into the mid-60s with some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then as we get into tomorrow, look at those temperatures just tumbling, 81 degrees. We haven't been this cool, I think, virtually all month long. We just have been very, very warm all of July. That changes just a high of 81. And we are going to be looking at some of those scattered late day showers and storms. I think we'll be a little earlier with those storms tomorrow. They'll probably be kind of 3 to 6 p.m. would be the main time window for us in Denver. We'll have a fair bit of cloud cover throughout the day, though, so that might be a little different. We'll probably have a fair bit of cloud cover even during the morning hours in around Denver as well. So notice as we get into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, the coverage of storms in around Denver will probably be a little higher earlier in the day. Again, I think 3 to 6 would be the main time window, so that's why I think the Rockies game would probably be all right for that. It's southern Colorado, and as we head through the weekend, we're going to kind of gradually shift those showers and storms a little further south each day. So kind of a little bit here, a little bit there in terms of that shower and storm coverage as we get through the weekend. And I mean, tomorrow in the San Luis Valley, you're going down to the sand dunes, anything like that, forget about it. It is going to be pouring rain out that way. Raton Pass on north here through Pueblo. It is just going to be, again, a super soaker as we get through tomorrow night. And then we'll still see some storms hanging around. Again, we can't rule out a storm for us in Denver tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. I just think the chance will be a little greater this evening, and also for tomorrow will be a little earlier in the day, kind of 3 to 6, as I mentioned, where you have that higher chance for a shower or thunderstorm. I guess the good news is, I'll say this too, in Denver, we're starting to need the rain a little bit. We're not in any sort of abnormally dry or any sort of drought conditions yet in and around the metro area, but we're probably starting to get to the point where we got a lot of brown lawns, right? And the good news is, 1, we'll be cooler this weekend. 2, your lawns are going to get a pretty needed drink of water here. And it's in the far western Colorado where we really do need the rainfall, especially north of 70. But we've noticed some improvement into the San Juans and southwestern Colorado with our most recent drought monitor update. By the way, I wrote a story about that yesterday over at 9news.com about some of the improvements here in the western part of the state. That is great news. It's always that tough balance, right? We're talking about all this rainfall, which is great news for this map, right? But it's too much of a good thing. You get all the rain at once, and it's just mud, and it just leads to landslides. It's a tough balance, isn't it, here? We need the rain, but we just don't want it all at once. You don't want an inch or 2 of rain in an hour, because that'll lead to flooding and mudslides. So it's always that tough, catch-22, I suppose, with that rainfall. Meantime, forecast highs for tomorrow. We had Winter Park, 58 degrees. That sounds kind of nice to me. It's a little preview of fall. Leadville, of course, usual, one of our cool spots at 10,000 feet. 63 degrees for you. Alamosa, as usual, one of our warm spots, even though you're at almost 8,000 feet. For friends down there in the San Luis Valley, 79 degrees for you. And Grand Junction, where you'll probably be on the drier side. We're shifting that monsoonal moisture a little further east to be in the western slopes. So 91 for us in Grand Junction. Denver just at 81 behind that cold front. Eastern Plains, 80s, maybe a few 90s popping out and up in the southeastern corner. So that weekend, again, I feel like for whatever reason this weekend more than any other, I've gotten anecdotally quite a few questions about the weekend forecast. If you're planning, if you want to try and get some sort of outdoor activity done, I'd go with Sunday over Saturday. Yes, we have shower storms around both days. Neither day looks great. If you could push it back to next weekend, at this point, next weekend looks way better than this weekend. But if you got to plan around one of the 2 days, especially the mountains, Sunday is looking a lot better than Saturday. We're going to start to push that moisture south of I-70 by Sunday. So we'll still have showers and storms around. Don't get me wrong for your Sunday. It's just going to be a little better, even though it's going to be a little bit cooler for your Sunday. Now, Monday and Tuesday, we still do have storms around. We'll gradually decrease those shower and storm chances again to the early part of next week. So we'll start to warm back up a little bit. It's not a coincidence here that we see those temperatures kind of rising on up as we head through the week, and you see those shower and storm chances decrease. It's a symbiotic relationship where you have those, again, rising temperatures thanks to increased sunshine. And as we decrease those shower and storm chances, those temperatures will rise. So that's why by the end of next week, you should see those temperatures on the better side. But until then, this weekend, 9 News and chill. I guess that should be the new catchphrase. Thanks for tolerating me here on YouTube. I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Have a great weekend. Whatever it is you do, again, just stay safe out there, especially with that flash flood watch that's in place through Saturday. Yeah, no worries, man. Take your time, and thank you for doing this. And I need to tag out for 9 News and Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Chris Weather Explainer, please. Cool, thanks. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so at this point, you probably already know that we're going to be talking about a super soaker of a start of a weekend. In fact, most of this weekend looks like we're going to be dealing with flash flood concerns, particularly in the mountains, but we do have a flash flood watch that's in place for Denver. The question you might be asking is why this risk might be a bit higher than usual. We'll start things off with what we're going to see on Friday night into your Saturday morning. Cold front drops its way through the front range. That will give us easterly winds. That's upslope flow. Long story short, we're getting a lot of moisture, but it's mainly going to be at the surface. But what about the middle and upper levels of the atmosphere? You might know that we're in, of course, the middle of summer, which means we're in the heart of monsoon season. Now, you got monsoon season, you got a ridge of high pressure, that's going to kind of budge east, that's going to allow all this moisture to flow on up from the Gulf of Mexico and from the Pacific Ocean on up into Colorado. That, at the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, is going to really kind of soak us on through. And you might notice that the jet stream is to our north, which means these storms just will not move. So you've got a bit of a three-headed monster that is in play for this weekend. Slow storm movement because the jet stream is north of us, surface moisture behind that cold front, and monsoonal moisture thanks to it, well, being that time of year. For 9 News, I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi. How long was that? Oh, it's okay. I actually kind of want to, give me 1 second. I actually kind of want to, you can't really see that all that well. That writing. Cool, thanks. If you wouldn't mind, just, I'm supposed to keep it to like a minute or less, probably closer to 45. Sure, yeah. Thanks, man, I appreciate it. That'd be awesome. All right, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so you probably know at this point that we're gonna be dealing with a bit of a super soaker this weekend. We got a lot of rain in store for Friday night and through your Saturday across the Front Range and really through the mountains. In fact, flash flood watch now includes Denver. Now, the question you might be asking is why we're getting all this moisture. A couple of things at play here, and it's making it a bit of an unusually soggy setup. One, cold front drops way on through. That'll give us some of those easterly winds, upslope flow, and adds moisture, but that'll mainly be at the surface. Then you've got a couple of other things that are in play. One, our jet stream. It's over us, which means there's nothing steering these storms along. These storms are just going to sit and spin. Then you got this ridge of high pressure moving east. Means we're getting all that moisture coming on in from the Gulf of Mexico and from the Gulf of California and the Pacific Ocean. So you've got a bit of a three-headed monster in play. Monsoonal moisture plus a surface cold front plus no movement to those storms. For 9 News, I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Okay, I'm going to probably give that another shot there just to give it a little less and be a bit more concise. Thanks, man. 3, 2, and 1. So you probably know at this point that we're looking at a super soaker of a weekend. Denver included within the flash flood watch, and it's in place through much of the mountains as well. But you might be asking why this weekend might be so unusually soggy. A couple things at play. First things first, we're going to get a cold front dropping its way through the front range. That'll add some easterly flow. That'll give us upslope flow. So that's one thing that's in play. That's at the surface mainly. But then you've got this as well. The jet stream. That's off to our north. That means these storms, any storms that develop, they're just not going to move. Then you got a ridge of high pressure budging its way off to the east. And that means that's going to really open the door for Gulf of Mexico moisture to flow in, and also moisture coming in from the Gulf of California and the Pacific Ocean. That is our monsoonal moisture. That's mainly at the mid and upper levels. So you've got slow-moving storms plus a surface cold front plus you've got all that monsoonal moisture. So it's a bit of a three-headed monster this weekend. For 9 News, I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Perfect. All right, that's good. Thanks, man. Beautiful. You're a wonderful human, Cyrus. Thank you.